So good morning, all of you. Uh,
Good morning, sir.
yes.
Good morning, sir.
Now, in this class, we'll try to understand how the real number are represented in the computer. Okay. So, in our previous classes, or in the last class, we 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 have learned that how an integer is stored in the computer memory, or how we represent a number which is a whole number into the computer. So there is a uh, there is a representation. We call these things as binary. Just a minute. Uh, Let me take it. Okay. So in our previous class, we understand how we can represent an integer uh, in in the memory. So we use representation which is called binary number system. And in this binary number system, there are symbols which are 0 and 1, and we have the base which is 2. Okay? So any number, say if we have a number A, then we represent this number with a n-bit representation, which is n minus 1, then say b n minus 1 plus 2 to the power n minus 2, b n minus 2 plus up to 2 to the power 0, b 0. So if the number looks something like this, b n minus 1, b n minus 2, and b 0, and then its value or numerical value is computed or is evaluated in this form. Okay. So actually, if the number is 1011 in the binary form, then its numerical value is this is 0. This is a 4-bit number, so we start with 2 to the power 3 into 1 plus 2 to the power 2 into 0 plus 2 to the power 1 into 1 plus 2 to the power 0 into 1. Okay. So this stands for 2 to the power 3. This stands for 2 to the power 0. Okay. And your computer will represent the number in this form. Okay. So now we try to understand that how the real number, or when we have a floating point representation, then how can we represent these things into the computer. So firstly, what do you mean by the floating point representations? The floating point representation stands for a representation which looks something like, say, if we take a number, say 75364, and now I represent these things as 10 to the power 3, then it is interpreted in the form of 7, 5, and there is a decimal part, then 3, 6, 4. Okay. So this this is basically the floating point. Okay, and now this number is basically having two components, and the first component we represent these things as a significant, and this one is called the exponent. Okay, so any floating point number, the number can be having two tuples. One is called the significant. This is called significant or mantissa. Sometimes it's also called as mantissa. And so there is a mantissa part and there is a exponent part. Okay. So by default, the exponent is always 0 or less than 0. Yeah. That means if the exponent is 0, then the number is treated, or the number is considered as a whole number. If the exponent is less than 0, then the number is having some fractional or decimal part. Okay? And now there are two variables, so I can store any values. In this case, I have stored 5, 7, 5, 3, 6, 4, and we store a value of 3. That means I am representing the numerical value of 75 decimal or points 364. Okay. So now if you change the value from 3 to say 3 to 4 or something 3 to anything, then these floating points are basically floats. It is moving, so it moves in this position, and we have the representation of the number 7.5364. Okay, so that means we are representing a number with two tuples. So one is the significant, and another is the exponent. Okay. And they are basically in any computer representations, this is having a constant size. Say in C programming, we basically have 32 bits, and this 32 bits is divided into two parts. One part is called the significant and another part is called the exponent. Okay. And now I am able to store some floating point representations of the number. So what do you mean the floating point? Floating point means that there are representations having two components. One is called the significant and another is called the exponent. Okay. So moving the exponent, we can change the decimal positions, and varying the significant, we are changing the numerical value of the data or of the number. Okay. But so the objective is to now just come into the scenario that what is our objective? Our objective is to represent some fractional part. Yeah. So what do you mean by the fractional part? The fractional part is say if I take a fraction like 1 is 1 by 3. That means I have a whole, I divide the whole into 3 equal parts, and I have collected a 1. So this is called the 1 by 3. Okay, understand? Now, if we represent these things in the decimal number, then what it looks like. So we understand that it is something in the form of 3, 3, 3, 3, and there is many some 3s. Infinitely, the number goes in this way. Okay. So now, for any computation, means if you want to do some computation, or if you want to represent the fraction 1 by 3, we are basically making a near approximations. So depending on the size, means how many digits means how many digits we are considering, we basically truncate the representation in some say I am truncating these things in 3 decimal points. So this is called the approximation at 3 decimal points. Okay. So every time we are representing a number as a near approximation. So any floating point number or any fractional number having a near approximation representations. So if we increase our size of the representation, we are getting more near approximations of the part. So so 1/3 is represented as a 0.3. So it may also be represented as 3.3, or it may also 3.3.3, etc. So in this case, we are considering that we are approximating the number with a 1 decimal points. This is 2 decimal points. This is 3 decimal points. Okay, and that is basically the practical scenario. So every floating point numbers or every real number, when we are representing these things, we are representing them as a near approximations to the number. Yeah, the computer or sometimes we are not computing the fractions as 1/3. We are basically computing the fractions in the form of 0.3, 3, etc. Yeah. Some of the part that this 1/2 may have a representation 0.5 and then all zeros. So zeros does not have any value. So this is also a near approximations which have the optimum value. Means we are having the means we are meeting to the real value of this number 1/2. Yeah. But it is not the ideal case. So it is basically some exceptional case. But in many cases, we will have the number representations as a near approximations. Okay? Now think that what is the meaning of this thing. So if we representing the numbers which is in the form of like this, then what is the left hand side implies? The left hand side implies that we have 3 equals half equal and we collect 1. Okay. So what is the right hand side says? The right hand side now saying something different. So it says that this number is basically a representation which looks like this way. So it is basically 1/10 into 3 plus 1/100 into 3 plus 1/1000 into 3 in this way. Okay? Understand? So this is what we understand by the decimal point. So every position. So this one is called the positional points values, and this one is the fractional value. Okay. So whenever we are having a positional value, we basically have 2 things. One is called the base, and the base is 10. And now I am representing the number in the base 10 representations. Okay. So this one is called the base 10 or decimal floating point representations in the base 10. Okay. So now the right hand side having a different implications, and the left hand side having the another implications, and we are just making them we are just trying to equating these things, or we are making an approximation of the 2 parts. Okay. So in this case, what it's saying, it says that if we take these things in the form of fraction, it takes that I have 10 herbs and collect 3. Okay. Plus I have 100 herbs and then collect 3, and plus I have 1000 herbs, equal herbs, and we collect 3. Okay. So that is the meaning of the right hand side, and this is the meaning of the left hand side. And now we are trying to making equating. We are trying to equating the two parts. So that is what is the philosophy of the number in the floating point representation. The floating point representations are basically what we are doing. We are representing these things in a positional part where there will be a base. In this case, we are having the base as 10. And now this base is approximating, this number is, a floating point number is approximating a fractional values. Understand? Yeah. So as we understand that floating point value, we have two components. One is called the mantissa, and another is exponent. Okay. And now this floating point number is also representing with a base. So the base is very much common. So if it is representing the base of 10, then we have a number which looks like this: 753,461 into 10 to the power, say, -3. That means we are representing a number which is starting with 10 to the power -3 into, say, 1, then 10 to the power -2 into 6, then 10 to the power -1 into 3, and then we have 10 to the power 0 into sorry, this is 4. This one comes with the value of 4. Then this is 3, and 10 to the power 1 into 5 plus 10 to the power 2 into 7. Okay, understand? So this exponent is triggering the 10 to the power -3, then it incrementing 1 by 1, and finally we are having the representation as 753.461. Okay, you understand this one?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So every floating point, when we have a particular base, then the value of the floating point, if we having representing these things as a, say, digit, we start with, say, digit, let it be digit 0, digit 1, say there is a decimal point, say digit 2 and digit 3, then it will be with what much? Digit 0 into 10 to the power -2, because there are that is basically a representation of digit 3, digit 2, digit 1, digit 0 into 10 to the power -2. Okay, so this is the mantissa, this is the exponent. So we start with something like this. Then d1 into 10 to the power -1, then d2 into 10 to the power 0, and d3 into 10 to the power 1, and their summation. Okay. So similarly, when we come to the computer, or when we come to the representations in the binary form, so a floating point in binary is also having the similar representation. Say example is, if we take 1 1 0 1 0 1 into say 2 to the power -3. That means we are representing these things 1 into 2 to the power -3 plus 0 into 2 to the power -1, sorry, 2 to the power -2 plus 1 into 2 to the power -1 plus how much we have done. Then this is 0 into 2 to the power 0 plus 1 into 2 to the power 1 plus 1 into 2 square. Okay, and now we are able to evaluate. So this is a simple binary number which looks 1 into 2 square plus 1 into 2 plus 0, and this one is having the representation in the fractional part. Okay, so it looks something 4 plus 2 plus 0 is equals to 6. Okay, and then what is the another things it looks like? it is basically 1 by, if we take it into the value, so this is 1 into 1 by 2 means half, 0.5, or let me do it here. So this is 1 by 2 plus 0 into 1 by 4 plus 1 into 1 by 8. Okay, clear? So this value is basically, if we keep on computing, so this value is basically 1 into 0.5. So what is that value? 0 into 1 by 4 means, what is 1 by 4? 0.25. And what this value? 1 into 1 by 8 means half of 0.24. That means 1, then 4, then 2, 5. Okay. Get it? You get this point?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
So this is basically what is the numerical value of the floating points. So floating points is looking something like this. This position will be having a factor or positional value of 0.5. The second position is having the positional value of 0.25. This one is having the positional value of 0.1.25. Okay. And now we can accumulate the values, 0.25, then 0.125, and finally we'll get a 6 point. How much will come? Say 5, then 2 to 4, 3, 4, 5.
So multiple by 0.
0.25 is multiplied by 0.
Okay, so
Second
this one
component
is
will be 0.
Yes. Okay, so this one is 0. So it will be 2, 5, and 2, 5, and 6. Okay, is that 5? Oh.
Yes, sir.
Oh, so now if we just take a look that in the decimal or in the base 10 and in the base 2. So decimal part, it is after the points, means after the decimal points, the values are basically moving in this way. 10, then 1 by 100, then 1 by 1000, and 1 by say 10,000, etc. Yeah. So if the number is 3, 4, 7, 6, then this values is, or these positional values are multiplied with this factor. So this is the positional values and this is the phase values. We sometimes call these things as the phase. Okay? And in binary, the same positions, means the same positions are moving in this way. This is 0.5, so this will be half of that things. So 2.5, this will be again half of these things. So they are basically divides by 2. So this is divides by 2, divide by 2. So this will be 1, 2, 5. Then we come to 0, 6, 2, 5, and then we have, let me write it here, say 0, 3, 1, 2, 5, and 1, 0, 1, 5, 6, 8, 5. Yeah. So they are having this type of positional values. Okay? And the phase is basically a 0 and 1. So I will be either taking the 0.5 in my accumulations, or I will not take the 0.5 in my accumulations. So if the number is 0.10111, that means I am taking the 0.5 in my accumulation, and I am not taking 0.25 in the accumulations. Then I am taking 125 in the accumulations plus 0.625 in my accumulation, and in this way it accumulates the values, and finally we get the representations in the binary. Yeah. Okay. So So it is very easy to understand. We are very much familiar in the decimal points, means decimal values or the phase values. Yeah, sorry, decimal positional values. The decimal positional values is only divides by 10. Every move is basically divides by 10. But in the binary, every move towards the right is basically divides by 2. Okay, understand? So now, so we understand that how I am representing a decimal value in base 10 and how I am representing the binary value in I am representing a floating point value in the base 2. So if I am giving you a representations in this form, say 0, 1, 1, 0 in binary 2, and I am asking what is the value of this thing, then you are able to evaluate this value. Yeah. So what this is simply the digit, binary digit, and this is basically simply the 1 by 2, then plus 1 by 25, then plus 1 by 1.25 in this one. Clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
Now think that I have a representation in the decimal. Here, say I have given you a number which is 5.5. Okay, in the decimal. Okay. And now I want to convert, or I want to translate these things in the form of a binary, say base 2. Okay. Then if we move in my previous slides, then you see that the positional values, let me reduce these things. The positional values of the decimal is basically a divide by 10. Yeah, and whereas the positional values of the binaries are basically divide by 2. Clear? So it is very much common, or it frequently happens that a decimal number having a infinite representations of the binary. Means when I am representing a number in binary, say 0.55, and then I find that it never terminates. It may goes in this way. I am just writing an example. Say it may goes in this way. Say after sometimes it repeats. It basically having a repetitions. So 1, 0, 1, 1, 1 in this way. Okay. So why it is happening? Because the values are not matching. So I am not but I am interpreting as a base 10. I am doing these things in the base 2, then their positional values are different, and I am not able to fit. I am not able to adjusting the things in a proper way. So I will show you with this example how it is happening. So we are trying to represent the this value, decimal floating point value, into a binary floating point value. Yeah. How do we do these things? What is the things we can do? Yeah. So in this case, I have to represent these things in the form of, say, 0.5 plus, say, 0.25 plus, say, 1.25 plus, say, what is the next one? 0.625, and in this one. So these are the positional values, and I have to either take the positional values or I have to leave those positional values. Okay, understand? So if I try to represent these things, if I try to break the numbers, say it can be break in this way. Say it will be 0.5. Okay, so I am writing the left hand side by 0.5 plus 1.5, and then I find that okay, this 0.5 I have already encountered, so I am writing a 1 into 0.5. Okay, and plus, then I find that this is 1.25. So, and the remaining part, so already this part is matched, so this part is matched on. So the remaining part is 0.05, and if I take this one, then it will be larger than 0.25. If I take 1 into 0.25, then the accumulation will be greater than the left hand side. Okay, so this accumulation is basically greater than the left hand side. Sorry, this one is not 0. This one is 0.5. Okay. So I have to leave this. I have to leave these things with a 0. Okay. Then I move on. So moving these things, I find that again, this, if I take 1.25, clear, with a multiplication of 1, then again, this one is greater than 0.5. Okay. So I am again leaving these things. Okay. And then I again leave this one. So this will be 0.0625. And then what is the next one? This is basically 0.03125. Okay. And I am basically accumulating this one. So 1 into this. Okay. Do you get this point?
Sir, please repeat.
Sir, please repeat.
Okay, I'm taking in another part. So my right hand side is 0.5 and 5. Clear? So the positional values of the binaries is 0.5, then 0.25, then 0.125, then 0.0625, then 0.03125. We just consider up to this point. So this is 1/2. This is 1/4. This is 1/8. This is 1/16. This is 1/32. Okay. Get it? Okay, so now think how these things can be in the base 2. Okay. So your left hand side is having a numerical value which is 0.55. Okay. So now if I want to, if I am taking these things as a first most significant is 1. That means I am already accumulated the value of 0.5. So I am accumulating the value of 0.5. Okay. So the right hand side is 0.5 and the left hand side is the remaining 0.05. So the sum of 0.5 plus 0.05 is this one. Okay. Understand? Okay. So your left hand side is 0.5 and there should be something. There should be something in this form. So I am not yet resolved the part, but I have resolved that if I take the first positional value, then it will be representing a 0.5. Okay. Understand? Yeah. Do you get this point?
Yes, sir.
Oh no, so this part is done. Okay. So this part is done. So now I have to represent the remaining part. So the remaining part is 0.05. Okay. So already 0.5 is taken. So shall I take 0.25 here?
No, sir, it will exceed.
No,
the value.
it will exceed the value. So I'll not take this thing. So it will be a multiple of, so this is the multiple of 1. So this will be the multiple of 0. So I am not taking 0.025. This one is not taken. So shall I take this one?
No, sir.
No. So this one is also not taken because this will be again exiting the value. So it will be again, we am not taking this one. So in this way, I shall not take this also. So again, this will be a 0. So again, there will be a 0 here. And then I will be taking this one. Okay. So if I take this one, then we'll be having 1 into 0.03125. Understand? Do you get this point?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So there will be an adjustment. So it will be now representing a 0.5 plus 0.3125, and then what is remaining is basically, let me do the arithmetic, 0.3125 So this will be a 5, then 7, then 2, 3, and 1. So there will be a 0, 1, 3, 7, 5. Okay, and we have representing these things. We have the representation of 1 into
I think addition, I mean, positions are in the addition. It
this
will
one.
be 5, 2, then a 6, and no, 1, 2, 5. So 8, 1, 2, 5. Will it not be 0, 8, 1, 2, 5 or something like that?
This one, no?
0.05 plus 0.3125. So this 125 will come, then 538.
Oh, it's 1 minute. This one is something.
No, so why are you adding 0.05 with 5 plus? Okay, this
No,
one.
this one is the
Sir, the
original.
remainder will be 0.01875.
0.01.
875.
Achha,
Not
eight-
3, sir.
achha,
8,
achha,
8.
875. Okay. Okay. Yes, there is a 875. Okay. Okay, but just what we understand is up to this point, means up to this point, I have made, say it is 0 into 2 to the power minus 2 plus 0 into 2 to the power minus 3 into 0, plus 0 into 2 to the power minus 4 plus 1 into 2 to the power minus 5. Clear? So that basically represents up to this point. Understand? Clear? Is it clear?
Sir, why you took 0?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Why we took 0?
Okay.
I mean 1 into 0
0 means I
0.5
am,
plus 0.0 into 0.25. Why we took 0?
because if I take 0.25, if I means your symbols in binary, we have only the symbols of 0 and 1. Clear? So I am representing the number in the form of 0 and 1s. Clear? And they are having the positional values. This, if we take the first position, then it will be representing the numerical value as 0.5. If I take the second positions, then it will be representing the numerical value as 0.25. Okay. So now you have an option. You have the option whether you will consider the second position or you will leave the second position. Understand? And now I have to adjust the left hand side with the right hand side.
Okay, sir. Okay,
So-
understood.
So in this case, if we are adjusting the left hand side with the right hand side, then it is no way to taking 0.25, because then the value will be exiting. Understand? The value will be greater than the left hand side. Okay. So I have to choose such a value which will be fitting, and there will be some offset. Understand? So these are the offset. Okay. And now if we keep on processing, there will be more values. But now you consider that if you are approximating the binary number up to this position, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 5 positions, I am approximating the number up to position number 5. Then I am basically representing, my final result says that 0.55. If we represent these things in the binary, which is 0.10001 in binary. Yeah. But this is not the true one. We are basically approximated the value. And what we have approximated is basically this offset. We have truncated the left hand side. If we take the binary values and if we convert these things in a numerical result, then that result will not consider the offset. It will consider 0.5 plus 0, 0.5 plus 0.5 plus 0.03125. It is not considering the 0.55. It will considering
So,
something less.
Joydeep, we are losing for this particular case, we are losing actually 0.005. You may show that just by converting this binary into decimal again, then we can easily see that
Mhm.
instead of 0.55, how much we are getting here actually. And the difference we are losing basically
Well,
for
that
this
is
particular.
that
Then it, yeah,
difference will be basically we are losing the something. Means
based
that,
depending on this limitation of number of positions we are considering.
yes.
If we are ready to consider more positions, then maybe our loss will be less.
But
But
there will be losses. There will be some losses.
yeah,
But
So here the
it is
losses
some
is
losses in some cases.
0.875.
that things we are basically losing. Means we do not consider that things in the representations. Understand? But anyway, if we increase the positions, if we increase these binary positions, again there will be something we are losing, but the amount will be less. Yeah, understand? So whenever we are talking about a fixed size, the size is important. So we are talking in this case we are talking about the size of 5. Yeah. So a number which is having a positional value with a size of 5. Yeah. Then there is a loss of something the left hand, this position, this value we are losing. So if we increase the things to say 15 points, then obviously there will be less loss. Okay, understand? So the thing is that what we have understood, that there if we represents a fractional number into a positional system, there is always a loss. Then again, if we convert one number system, say I am converting a decimal number system to a binary, yeah, then there will be again something we are losing. Yeah. So these conversions, etc., there is always a truncations. Yeah. And the case is that what will be the size of your number depending on these things. We are considering that okay, there will be a losses. Yeah. Understand?
So can you control the size?
No, there is a fixed size. Means in every compiler we are having a fixed size for the numbers. Like if we say about integer in C programming language, say if we take the C programming language, then we have these are the standard things. We have integer which is 32 bits. Then we also have a short which is basically 16 bits. There is also a long which is 64 bits. Yeah, so these are all integers. They are considering the whole values. Then we have float. They are also 32 bits. Then we have double. They are 64 bits. And we have character. And these characters are basically 8 bits. So these are the standard, or we sometimes call these things as a defined data types. User cannot define the data types. It is already hard coded in the compiler. So whenever I am declaring a variable as a integer, it is defined that its size will be 32 bits. Understand? Get it?
Yes, sir.
Oh, so let me just take a little bit of time, and then this is the process is also explains that how I can convert a decimal floating point number to a binary floating point number. So you have to remember, in this case what you have to remember, these positional values. Okay, the positional values are 0.5, then 0.25, then 0.125, and then there are many positional values. So it is very much cumbersome to remember those values because they are not familiar. We are not familiar with this type of scenarios. Yeah. So what is the another easy method or to convert a number into a binary? Say this is the decimal number. Okay. So what we do, we make repeated multiplication by 2. So we multiply these things with 2, and now it comes 1 point how much? 0, then 11, right? Is that true? Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So this is something like this. So it says that whenever there is a whole number, these whole numbers will either comes with a 0 or a 1. Whenever there is a whole number, we put these things as a most significant part. Then I again take the fraction point part, means the decimal part. It will be 0.1. Then we multiply it with 2. Then it comes with 0.2. So nothing comes. We take it as a 0. Then we again take 0.2 and multiply it by 2. So it comes as a 0.4. So I take 0 here. Then I take 0.4 multiplied by 2. It will be 0.8. So 0 comes in this point. Again, I take 0.8 multiplied by 2, and we get how much? 1.4. 6. So 1.6. Clear? Then 1 comes here. Okay. Then I take 0.6 multiplied by 2, and we'll get 1.2. Then again 1 comes here. Okay. So the number now looks like 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, something like this. Understand? Clear? So what I am doing, I am basically shifting the position. Previously, what I am doing, I am computing in this way. So it is 0.5, 0.25, 0.125 in this way. Clear? Now I am basically multiplied. I shifted the number by multiplied by 2. If I multiply the whole number by 2, then this becomes shifted to a 1. And now the number becomes 0.5. This will comes 0.25 in this way. Understand? Get it? So if I multiply the whole part with a 2, then this one becomes a whole part, and everything is shifted to a position to its right. To its left. Okay. So when this becomes a 1, I take it as a most significant. So your decimal, your floating point representation in the binary is now considering this one as the most significant. Again, if we multiply by these things as a 2, then this one comes in. Understand? Then actually there are nothing in this position. So now 0 comes in this position. In this way, I am doing the same things instead of making remembering the position values. I am just multiplying the position values by 2, such that I am shifting the binary numbers to its left. Understand? Get it? Is that clear?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
And just one interesting thing. Say if we keep on think that I am blindly doing this process repeatedly, then what will be the scenario? The scenario is that you will find that there will be a chain of this, means as 0.2 appears, this 0.2 has already been appears. Then if we do the computation again, then this sequence will be repeating. Clear? Because already we have performed the computation with this 0.2. Clear? So if we multiply this 0.2, in the next step we will take 0.2 here, multiplied by 2, it will give me 0.4. That means I am basically repeating this sequence. Understand? Sorry, I am basically repeating this sequence. Again, the same series of 0, 0, 1, 1 will appear. Again, the same series of 0, 0, 1, 1 will appear. Okay? And we will find that it is a finite representations in the decimal. But in binary, we do not have a finite representations of this number. It will be repeating of the sequence. Understood? So if we want to represent exact the value of 0.55 in binary, there will be an infinite sequence of representations. Is it clear? You understand this point?
Yes.
Okay. So what is our understanding is that whenever we are changing the representations, it may not be very much means healthy, or it not be very much good. There will be some truncations. There will be some losing of values. Okay. Understand? So in this class, what we understand What do you mean by the floating point representations? Then how do we represent a floating point number in a base 10, base 2? Then how we have to convert a floating point number from one base to another base. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Oh, so okay, these slides are also there just for your. In our next class, we'll try to understand the sign number. Means so far we have understood what is the real number, what is the integer numbers, and then how do we represent the sign, means positive and the negative in a fixed size representation. Okay.
Sir, can you send this as PDF in the mail?
In the mail, okay. Mail, I think
So we are uploading everything in Moodle. Why don't you join Moodle?
you have to
You
join.
have to join. We are regularly uploading everything in Moodle. So please open your Moodle account, enroll for the course. Otherwise, you won't be able to take part in the exam which we will be taking.
Sir, we are enrolled only the CS. We have not any enrollment key for the others.
No, we do not have the enrollment key. You just join to this course.
You will search the course. You will be asked to enroll me. You click on that, automatically you will be enrolled.
Okay, this course already
But
the slides
just
have been
update your
uploaded.
profile with your roll number. Otherwise, we will de-enroll you. If you are not giving your roll number in your profile, we'll just manually move out. Okay. So
Sir, I
remember.
tried enrolling there, but somehow the system is not allowing me to proceed anywhere. So I did send an email to the support system that was given for Moodle.
Okay, these are the students who have already enrolled.
No,
Means
have you chosen the correct course? You have to choose that.
Even before that, I can. There is a confirmation email was supposed to be sent so that I could proceed, but the confirmation email is not being sent to to the institute email ID.
Okay, so you do one thing. If you don't get any reply from them and it is still not working, next time you send a mail with a CC to us, two of us.
Okay,
So
sir.
that we can also
Okay,
proceed.
sir. Okay, sir.
Okay, Joydeep, you may close the recording, stop the recording first.